Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. So Caddle is in on this issue of a dwindling population in Barbados, and she is saying it's complex. But what I am telling you is that it should not be any complexity associated with duplicating yourselves. I think I'm saying that with almost every video. There should be no complexity. If you know that you cannot afford a steak every week, if you know that you cannot afford to get on a plane and fly first class whenever you want to, if you choose to, and you want to go somewhere and you cannot fly first class, you're kind of knowing that you need to pull back. If you know that you cannot fill your refrigerator up with food, if you know that every time the month ends you are like scratching your head as to how you're going to pay for your utilities, for example, that's the least. Utilities, well, in the States, utilities, it's not that much. Utilities, it doesn't cost that much to supply yourself with electricity, gas, your cable company, your phone bill, it's not much. Okay, and if you know you're struggling to do that, just that, it's not time to have a child. There's no complexity associated with the fact that you are turning burgers. There's no complexity knowing that you're putting gas in someone's car. You work in a gas station, okay? You work in a gas station with a big belly. You are working in a gas station and you have the audacity to get pregnant. You have the audacity to get pregnant when you're working at McDonald's, Burger King. There's no complexity here. It's common sense. It's common sense. And it's also common sense to say to yourself, well, how am I going to explain me being the mother of this child and also the sister? You are the mother. Listen up. You are the mother and also the sister of this. How are you going to explain that? Incest is rampant in Barbados. And if it's not incest, it's the mother's boyfriend impregnating one of her daughters. So how are you going to explain, well, this guy used to be with my mom? How are you going to explain that? That you have a child or a couple of children, several children from a guy who is old enough to be your dad and who used to be with your mom. How are you going to explain that? So it's a deeper issue. Caddle is a deeper issue. How many kids does she have? How many kids does the deputy prime minister have? How many kids does Mia Motley have? I mean, they are smart. You're smart when you say to yourself, well, this is my DNA. My DNA comes with trauma. Your DNA has built-in trauma. You're going to have fears. You're going to have things that are coming up in your mind. You don't even know where they're coming from. It's something that you're born with because you came out of traumatic situations. You were brought into the world from people who went through pure trauma. Okay, people would say, and I have said, they were comfortable in it, but that doesn't mean it's not registering in your DNA. It's part of who you are as a person. You come with trauma when you are Barbadian, when you are born in Barbados, or when you are born anywhere with the British and other colonial people rampaged. You're born with trauma. And a lot of people can look at that situation and say, I choose not to bring a child into a world where poverty exists. I choose not to bring a child into the world where there are wars. I choose not to bring a child into a world where there can be R or SA, or V, DV, domestic V. You choose not to bring a child into this world. You're smart. You are actually intelligent. So for the ones at the bottom tier, the ones who cannot make ends meet, the ones who do not have proper education, the ones who do not even know the names of the fathers of their children, for them to have the audacity to bring children into the world. It's beyond any sort of understanding. Okay, the thing about you doing what you do shows that you are comfortable in a situation that you are not aware of. You are comfortable not even knowing you're still enslaved, or you are still a slave. You are comfortable with being ignorant. You are comfortable with being uneducated. You are comfortable not having money but spreading your legs. You're just comfortable. You're just comfortable. And it doesn't bode well when you compare it with someone who is thinking. It shows that you are like a machine. Think about it. Don't come at me. Look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, am I a machine? Am I AI? You know, you talk about, oh, AI is going to come and take over our jobs. AI is going to do this. All this artificial. Are you an artificial intelligence? Are you programmed to do exactly what you're doing, providing the earth with slaves? You have to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself those questions. I know it may be deep and you are shallow. You don't think that way. You don't just, these things don't come to your mind. You just have an itch and you say, well, you know, I was feeling horny or whatever, and you did it and blah, blah. And then it's like a oops situation. And then a baby comes out, and then that baby, the streets call to your children. And then you're going to come on YouTube and say, you're trying your best, having a child, being a minimum wage worker, not having money to support yourself, not knowing fully well the father of the child, his mentality. You didn't research the family's background, what kind of stresses reside in that particular family. How did that guy have a father image? Who were his mentors? You have not investigated nothing. You just had a child, knowing that you cannot even support yourself. You know you cannot take a flight and travel in luxury. You know you cannot do nothing like that. You know you cannot even buy yourself a good meal. You know that you are scratching your head every end of the month to pay rent, to pay your utilities, to do whatever you need to do in life. You know that it's a struggle for you. You know that you're working at a gas station. You know that you're turning burgers. You know that you're taking orders. You know that you're working on a plantation that has turned itself into a hotel. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am. You know that you are in the servile or the service industry. You know what you are. And you have the audacity to say, I want to have a child just like me, to do just like me. Or you're going to have hope that the child is going to come up better than you are. Where every time you make a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, it gets duller and duller and duller. You know, it's not the original. You're not the original. You're a copy of a bad copy of a crinkled copy, and a copy you don't have ink, you don't have money to put. You are duplicating yourselves, and every time you make that copy, it's dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, and you're hoping that it does. Are you even hoping that the duplication of yourself comes out to be better than you? You're hoping beyond hope that it's better than you. It does more than you. You cannot teach it anything. What skills do you have? Let me ask you that. What skills do you have that you can impart on your child? What skills? Do you know anything about engineering? Do you know anything about engineering? What skills? What skills are you going to teach your child when it is in your womb and you can play certain books? So they're audio books. Yes, you know what audio book is? If you don't want to read, it can be read to you. You don't have time to sit. You can be in your car and it's playing. What are you doing to make sure that even before the second playing field shows up when that child is born, what are you doing to make sure that that child is stimulated upward mobility wise? What are you doing? What are you doing? So what Caddle is saying, and she's talking about an Asian population, and you know, whatever. She's Asian. Mia is beyond having a child. I think she's going into 60. You know, the Asian population is one thing, But you should be looking at poverty. You should be looking at slavery. It should be a more spiritual look that you're taking with regards to how you treat people. It should be, you should look at saying to people, we are in this situation. It's a bad situation. We have moved laterally since slavery. We have moved from slavery into the service industry, tourism, so service industry is lateral. You should be telling people what has happened to them and look at it and take it from a spiritual point of view, instead of all the, the service is this and the service is that, and people are getting older. Look at it from a spiritual point of view and say, maybe we should give people a fixed income. Maybe there should be some sort of universal income for all people in Barbados. At least everyone gets $2,500 a month. Everyone that, if you're working for a certain amount or under a certain amount, you get $2,500 a month. Will that help? No, it's not going to help. It's not going to help you. Barbados can't rule like that. They don't have that kind of money. They don't have any natural resources that they can say that they can pull from that and give you $2,500 a month just to have a child, just to, create a stock market in Barbados. They don't have it. They don't have it. They need to sit and talk to you like a spiritual being to another spiritual being. Maybe you should let go and let the God you believe in get back to creating. Yeah, you took over creation. It started out with a God talking to you, communicating with you, walking with you on this earth. That's what they say. Don't have to believe. That's what they say. It is written that God spoke a language and you understood it. You understood whatever language was being spoken by God back in the day. That's the original copy. The original copy. You understood when God came and he spoke. You understood. Now you don't understand crap. There are many, many different languages. You don't understand even how to speak the language that was forced on you, which is English. You don't even speak that well. You don't even write it well. You don't even understand it. Okay? So, you need to get back to letting God do what he intended to do. You're not good at doing it yourself. You are not good. I hate to say this, but you do have to get to a spiritual part of who you are. Marsha Caddle has to speak to you from an inner spiritual kind of tone. It has to be something deeper than just talking about what the survey says. It has to be from the higher chakra in the mind, outside of the mind. She has to put on maybe something biblical. Yeah, biblical. She has to go back to those words that were written. It is written, right? And it's done. So you have to look at what you are doing and know that you don't know what you're doing. And you have to let the gods that created this particular domain, let them get back to doing what they wanted to do. They've tried to destroy it many, many times. They've tried to reset. You know how you pull your computer out and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, you count to 10 and you plug it back in to reset. It has been happening here on the earth many, many times, but there's a glitch. There's something wrong. And I think what is wrong is the AI that's on the earth. The AI that manifests as sperm, as you trying to do something that only a God should have done, and that is creating life. That's where the problem lies. And it's the woman that has the portal. You have a portal that you can bring life through. You have to actually watch what you're doing. It's not a matter of not having money anymore. It's not a matter of working and for Burger King and flipping burgers anymore. It's a matter of letting whoever had powers of creation get back to creating You don't know what you're doing. Forgive them, for they know not what they do, what they say. You see, you guys have me quoting the Bible. I don't believe in a God. I don't believe. I have to see it. I have to understand it. I have to be uploaded. They have to upload me with all of everything. The all. I need to know it all before I can say, not believe, say, okay, you are the ones who created the earth. Why did you do it? Why did you leave it in the state you have left it in? I have to be able to be, informed and have all the knowledge that could be had before I can talk about believing. You don't ever want to talk about believing. You want to talk about knowing, okay? You want to talk about knowing. You want to talk about understanding how this came about and where the glitches lie. Okay, do not have children. At least do not have children unless you're able to have money in the bank, a job, security in a job to support them. Do not have children just for having children's sake. You're making a big mistake. Caddle has no children. The people she worked for, the person who put her in that position has not a child. Is not going to have a child. Okay, let God, let go, and let the God who created this particular dimension, who created this particular computer simulation, computer app, whatever it is, let that particular creator fix what has happened. You do not know what you're doing. You do not know what you're saying. Let go and let God. You believe in God, don't you? You do believe in God. You believe that there's something created this. Something created this. And you're taking charge. You're saying, okay, you don't have to do anything. We got it. No, spreading your legs means you don't have it. You don't have it. Talking about believing. When you see something, when you know something, you still have to jettison that word belief. Then you know. You know. Belief is a real poor word. It's a poor word. You don't have to believe. You should ask for knowledge. Ask for knowledge. Ask and ye shall find. Seek and ye shall find. Ask and the door will be open. Okay? Get back to the spiritual realm. Okay? Get back to spirituality. I'm not saying that you should go into any church. That's the worst thing you can do. I'm not saying you should go into church, okay? But getting to know what was written on those pages. Someone took time to write words on a page, many pages, to tell you what you're up against when you are born into this world. Get back to that. Get back to that. Get back to trying to understand certain parts of it. You can't understand the whole thing. Get back to understanding the deeper parts of it. Okay, and let the creator who started this whole thing off, let them get back to what they intended for this to be, because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're saying. Okay, you're ignorant as to how to create. You don't know what you're doing. You're bringing in slaves. You're creating sin. You're creating mayhem here. You are creating mayhem here on the earth. Let go and let the gods who started this out continue. This is Sherry Veronica.